The rain fell heavily over the small, forgotten street where Maya Johnson's tailoring shop stood. The faded sign above the door read, "Johnson Alterations," its paint peeling, its letters barely holding onto their purpose, much like Maya herself. Inside, Maya sat hunched over her old sewing machine, the rhythmic clicking the only sound keeping her company. Her fingers were thin, scarred from years of work, but steady. Sewing was not just her job, it was her survival. Her stomach growled, but she ignored it. She had learned long ago that hunger was quieter when ignored. Ever since her husband died 3 years ago, leaving her with nothing but debts and grief, Maya had fought every day just to keep her tiny shop alive. Some days, she earned enough for food. Other days, she survived on tea and hope. But Maya had something stronger than hunger. She had dignity. Her father had taught her that when she was just a little girl in Alabama. He was a tailor too. He used to say, "Maya, every stitch you sew carries your soul. Never sell your soul, no matter how poor you are." She never forgot those words. Suddenly, the bell above the shop door rang. Maya looked up. A tall man stood in the doorway, his expensive black suit soaked from the rain. He looked out of place, like someone who had stepped into the wrong world by accident. His sharp jaw, silver-streak hair, and tired eyes told a story of power and exhaustion. "Are you open?" he asked quietly. Maya nodded. "Yes, sir." He stepped inside, removing his coat carefully. Maya noticed immediately that his suit was damaged. The seam along his shoulder had torn badly, exposing the inner lining. He looked down at it, almost embarrassed. "I have an important meeting tomorrow," he said. "Every tailor I went to refused. They said it would take days." Maya gently took the suit in her hands. Her fingers moved over the fabric, feeling its quality. It was the finest material she had ever touched. She could fix it, but it would take hours. She looked at the man again. His eyes held something unexpected. Not arrogance, not pride, just quiet desperation. "I can fix it," she said softly. Relief flooded his face. "How much?" Maya hesitated. She saw something in him. Not his wealth, but his humanity. She remembered nights when she had needed help, and no one came. She handed the suit back gently. "No charge." The man frowned. "No charge." She smiled faintly. "Sometimes people just need help." He stared at her, as if he had never heard those words before, as if kindness were a language he had forgotten. "Thank you," he said quietly. He left the suit with her and walked into the rain. Maya worked all night. Her hands ached. Her eyes burned. But she refused to stop. By morning, the suit looked perfect. She placed it carefully on a hanger, satisfied. She had no idea that her simple act of kindness was about to change her life forever. The next morning, Maya opened her shop early. She hadn't slept, but she didn't mind. The suit hung proudly by the window, flawless. At exactly 9 a.m., the bell rang again. The man returned. But this time, he looked different. Not physically, emotionally. He looked lighter. When he saw the suit, his eyes widened. "You fixed it perfectly," he whispered. Maya smiled gently. "Just doing my job." He touched the repaired seam, running his fingers over it. "Incredible," he said. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his wallet. Maya raised her hand. "I told you. No charge." He paused. "Why?" She thought for a moment. "Because someone once helped me when I had nothing," she said. "I survived because of kindness. Now it's my turn." He swallowed hard. "You don't even know who I am." She shrugged softly. "It doesn't matter." But it did matter. He was Daniel Laron, one of the wealthiest men in the country, CEO of Laron Global Industries, a billionaire. But Maya didn't know that. And strangely, he was grateful she didn't. He handed her a simple business card. "If you ever need anything," he said, "call me." She nodded politely, not thinking much of it. He left. Maya placed the card on her desk without looking at it. She went back to her sewing, back to survival, back to normal. But Daniel Laron did not go back to normal. As he sat in his car, he stared at his reflection. For years, people had treated him with fear, greed, or calculation. They wanted his money, his influence, his power. But Maya had wanted nothing. She had helped him simply because he needed help. He felt something unfamiliar rise in his chest. Emotion, respect, gratitude, and something else. A responsibility. He looked at her shop through the rain-covered window. It was small, fragile, struggling, just like she was. He made a decision, not as a billionaire, but as a human being. The next morning began like any other. Maya swept the floor. She organized her threads. She prepared herself for another uncertain day. But at 10 a.m., everything changed. 3 black luxury cars stopped outside her shop. Maya froze. Her heart pounded. Men in dark suits stepped out. Lawyers. They walked toward her door with calm, professional expressions. The bell rang as they entered. Maya Johnson. One of them asked. Her voice trembled. Yes. He handed her a folder. Miss Johnson, we represent Mr. Daniel Laron. Her stomach dropped. Had she done something wrong? Was there a mistake? Her hand shook as she opened the folder. Inside were legal documents. She couldn't understand most of the words. She looked up, terrified. I don't understand. The lawyer smiled gently. Miss Johnson, Mr. Laron has purchased this entire building. Her heart sank. She thought she was being evicted. She had nowhere else to go. Tears filled her eyes. I'll leave, she whispered. Please, just give me time. The lawyer shook his head. No, Miss Johnson. He paused. He bought it for you. She froze. What? He is transferring ownership of the building to you. Your shop is now yours. Forever. The room went silent. Maya couldn't breathe. Her knees weakened. She sat down slowly. Why? She whispered. The lawyer smiled. He said you reminded him what humanity looks like. Tears streamed down her face. Years of struggle. Years of pain. Years of loneliness. All breaking free at once. She wasn't invisible anymore. She mattered. That afternoon, Daniel Laron returned. But this time, Maya ran to him before he could speak. Her eyes were full of tears. You did this? She asked. He nodded quietly. You helped me when you had nothing, he said. You gave me dignity. I wanted to give yours back. She shook her head. I can't accept this. He smiled gently. You already did. The moment you chose kindness. She broke down crying. For the first time in years, they weren't tears of pain. They were tears of healing. Daniel looked around the shop. This place carries your soul, he said. She laughed softly. My father used to say that. Daniel reached into his pocket. There's one more thing. He handed her another document. She opened it slowly. It was a partnership agreement. He was funding her business, expanding it, turning Johnson Alterations into a full tailoring studio, with employees, with security, with a future. Maya looked up, speechless. Why? She asked again. Daniel's voice was soft. Because the world needs more people like you. Months later, Johnson Tailoring Studio became successful. Maya hired struggling women, single mothers, people like her. She gave them dignity, opportunity, hope, and every morning, she touched her sewing machine and remembered the day kindness changed everything. Not because she helped a billionaire, but because she proved something greater. Kindness is never poor. Kindness is never small. Kindness is the most powerful stitch in the fabric of humanity. And sometimes, one free stitch can mend an entire life.